of the live group here, and for all of you in archive, hello and welcome. Let's take a couple nice deep breaths, please. Okay, very good. All right, I feel like I have some new help on the team for this message, which feels really good. Okay, so what we want to talk about today is sort of a reflection of the year so far for 2024. And there is an opportunity that we all have to truly notice that we have each had our own experiences from the beginning of our lifetimes and truly from the conception of space and of time. There has been a high degree of individuality. So you will see that you'll notice that many times throughout our sharing, we keep trying to give you back this individual experience. We keep trying to hand you back your story and you within your story, and you as part creator, part author of your story. And part of that authorship is how you are responding to, what others are creating and what else is happening randomly and without purpose. So the reason that we do this is that there are so many benefits to you feeling and acting and knowing yourself as an individual. From our perspective, that is such a key point of incarnating as a human, is the individuality that it offers you, that don't even on a cosmic scale, you only need to answer for yourself. It, yeah, thank you. Yeah, they just said deeper, Jill, and I'm like, yep, okay, I feel it too. This does feel so important. Mm, mm. It doesn't make sense to us to incarnate in your reality at any time with your story being that you are doing something with the collective, that you are part of a movement alongside others, and that was your main reason. There is such a downside to feeling like you are part of the wave versus a water molecule, or the sub ingredients of what makes the water molecule hydrophobic. I mean, there's just so many strange storylines. The water, yeah, that's an interesting metaphor. Mm. It's easier to notice the wave. It's easier to notice the crest and the fall of the water working together in the ocean. And yet the empowerment, if you will, the true freedom of choice, the true free will, the true authorship is much smaller than that. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. I just felt like a neck brace coming off. Yeah, please be patient with me. This might take a minute. This might take some moments to get to the like wow part of this, but I can tell they're preparing me for it. Even the idea that those water molecules were working together to make that wave would be wrong. There's no intention there. It's happening based on the physics and the motion and the planetary position relative to your moon. It's not, hey guys, let's make a wave, let's make a big one. There's no, and granted, you guys are not water molecules, but still it is similar because humans working together tends to fall apart in a lot of ways. So this preoccupation that we see so many beautifully soulful, positively intended beings to work together and that they incarnated for that reason, it misses the mark because it misses out on the individuality. There is very little conversation, if any, about what you bring to whatever that cause, whatever that movement, whatever that activism is. What's your role in it? There is almost this, it's almost like a strategic lack of individuality within movements. And we find that very curious because that's where all the power is. But it doesn't look that way. Oh, and there we are at that wave again. Nice deep breath here, please. We'll come back to this metaphor in a while, but we're going to put it in the context of the year 2024, which has been filled with some eclipses and planetary alignments and things like that that Jill does not specialize in. But she's felt it too. That this year has been inclusive of some noticeable, whoa, like this thing is going on in the personal life, and it's the only thing that it's not the only thing, but it feels like the only thing going on in the world. Of course it isn't, but it's like, wow, this is gonna need a lot of my me to address this or face this or improve this or whatever. Um, yeah, she just said she doesn't want to talk about her eye anymore. That's okay. So when we were initially around last year at this time, starting to observe and survey 2024, just from an overall perspective, what we were looking at is the numerology of the eight. The numerology of the two and the two and the four make an eight, and eight as an infinity symbol. And if you were to take a 3D representation of infinity symbol, you could also make like glasses that you could look through and see clearer from. Um, so there is this interesting metaphor that when we had looked at it from before the year actually began within your space time, there was this sense of, oh, they should have the opportunity to see things more clearly. And one could have a lot of different assumptions about what that meant. We did notice within the community others that also have other talents and abilities. We're also noticing that, or even hearing from similar communities, oh my gosh, 2024 is going to just be filled with so much change. And we got that because there's a position of Pluto in certain ways that historically has been indicative of for example, the American Civil War. Pluto was in the same position in that time. And it is notable, right? Obviously, the Civil War shaped a new country. So there were expectations that many of you had in the community about, oh my gosh, something big outside of you is going to happen, or there's the potential for huge amounts of change this year. And yet, for many of you, as we've kind of prompted Jill to kind of check in a little bit, even on like Facebook, and ask, like, has your year been filled with, there was a lot of buildup to this year. What has your year been like so far? And what we were witnessing is a lot of very heart-centered, very soulful individuals noting that this year was filled with a lot of personal, we want to use the word upset, but we don't mean it in the emotional way. We mean it, although it could be, but just something was set and then it was up, set. It was disrupted. There was something that had been smooth, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. And Jill's right eye was definitely an example of that. Everything was fine, and then all of a sudden it was kind of not fine, and then all of a sudden it was seriously like, no, something is seriously wrong. You need to do this. You need to have this surgery and this, all this stuff. And it was very upsetting to the calendar and the schedule and her eyesight. Um, and what we found is that some of you, not all of you, and there's no need to weigh in. It's okay. That's not what this is about. We'll get to the main point soon. We want to get there too. um, for some of you that have had this, it allowed you to mhm, see things more clearly. It allowed you to see how important you are, or if you're upset, if you had one, involved another person, it allowed you to see more clearly what they mean to you, what their challenges are, how serious their challenges are, how seriously their challenges affect you. So there has been a lot of sort of like, whoa, oh, okay, that just got real sorts of moments that a lot of you have had. So it's interesting because there is this reconciliation, there is this reconciling that we observe within layers of the self. Each of you, especially in this community, whatever you had been or are facing in your year, you brought so much centered energy to it. You may have been upset, but you didn't really freak out. I mean, you had maybe had your moments, but you handled this far better than you would have, 15 years ago. And we just want to remind you of that you have created a version of you that is stable enough to be functioning, to like yourself, even to get yourself through situations that you wouldn't wish upon anybody. Some of you did have huge amounts of clarity about who and what you are and what you want to be and support and promote in yourself, in your reality, in your life. And we definitely celebrate that as well, because there is so much energy that a human can devote towards things that at some times there's, and it's pretty exciting when these reconciliations with yourself happen within the life. There is this, I don't know if I want to devote as much as of me to that anymore. I want to give myself a pause. I want to give myself some grace and some space between what I am and whatever that is that I've been devoted to. So that requires strength of self. That requires some underlying function of authorship, the ability to reflect, the ability to choose, the ability to even consider. The power of consideration is highly underestimated in your reality. It is so common within those that do not operate in a conscious, soulful sort of way to deny themselves the option of consideration of outcomes, consideration of what is true versus maybe what you wish were true, consideration of where things look like they're going, given the current evidence and pattern and behaviors that you have to observe. Mm. So when we look at 2024, there are energetic support ingredients for shifts, That doesn't have to be an upgrade. That can be a downgrade for some people. But tremendous shifts, tremendous jostling, high degree of unpredictability. And it didn't have to mean detached retinas or anything like that, but it can certainly mean that your experiencing of something personal is different than it ever would have been. We celebrate that. We know, we know, we know that a human does not require pain and suffering to experience tremendous growth and change. We know that for some beings, there are other milestones in their life where they just decided to get some things straight within themselves and allow, not search, not seek, allow for soulfulness in a very palpable, tangible way for them and their lives. The way that this group has utilized these planetary alignments, cosmic positioning, and individual waves and patterns to further contemplate, to further consider, and to more deeply pull from yourself with whatever you were going through and whatever you needed at that time is absolutely beautiful. Some of you, with anything notable that you experienced this year, the first thing you would have done is reach out to somebody with the mindset of, I cannot do this by myself. I have to have, so-and-so's input or so-and-so support or so-and-so, whatever. And we did see less of that. And there's nothing wrong with reaching out for support. But isn't it amazing that there you can see a definitive before and after, that the version of you that would have been like one of the first things you did, well, we need help. And then in this instance, what we saw for a lot of you is that didn't even come up. Oh, who do I need to call? What do I need to book? What do I need to schedule? It was, oh, this feels important. Okay. Okay. Right. And you utilized the depth of you and the stability of what you have created as your multidimensional, interdimensional you. You utilize that as you almost calmly, maybe too calmly for some people's preference around you, calmly, you know, felt it, lived it, considered it, and created your you in the process. We have no judgment about any of you that had darker moments. Joel talked about them for not too long of a time. It was a very brief part of the the Joyful Souls recording and the Joyful Souls retreat. It was a very brief part of that, but she shared very openly. Some of you could literally call them dim light times, and the light wasn't dimmed. It was just really real. The experience of when you guys experience something that you've never had before, didn't really think would it come up, and kind of like, whoa, what? Like, what happened? What's happening? What happened? What does that mean? Whoa, right? Some of you may feel it as, I don't want to be in this experience, or even I don't want to be in general in anywhere near this. It could be things like, well, this sucks, And that may feel like a dimming of your light, but what's so beautiful, and we're so excited to point this out to you, your light is actually brighter in those moments. The way that you guys have done it is so genius and so sacred and so self-loving that it's giving you the space and the permission to be real about the fact that you don't want to be experiencing what you're experiencing, or to be honest with yourself about just how hard that is in that moment, with nothing but love for you. You didn't sanction it off like you would a child saying, this is the baby gate, this are the stairs. It's not safe for you to go down the stairs, right? You didn't cordon off the unpleasantness or worse of whatever that was. You brought all of you into it, and you didn't need shielding, you didn't need protection, and you didn't need a 911 call, and you didn't need a lifeline. And you may not be giving yourself credit for that, but we are definitely giving you credit for that. And some of you don't even want credit, and that's fine. We're still going to acknowledge how absolutely evolutionary that is. That's evolution. Mm. You already know our position, that from our perspective, lifetimes are happening in parallel to this one. Even a prehistoric experience that you're having is happening alongside this one. It's not way back there or way ahead of it. It's in another version of now, from another perspective of the energy that is occupying that self. Some of you know literally firsthand what it's like to be occupying yourself in a reality where there is no one to call. There is no 911. And most of you that would even venture out in an incarnation like that, there's a not everybody, but for a lot of you that are very thoughtful and very prepared, like to be prepared, there's a lot of preparation for those lifetimes. There may not be any teachers, there may not be any reminders. There are so many ways in all lifetimes where you can feel utterly alone. And that is so weird to just think about that for a minute, because there have been lifetimes where you guys were literally alone. Mm, so wild. Whether you were researching an area, in like a scientific manner, studying it, seeing if it's ready for certain forms of life that are um, past the prototype stage and ready to be utilized by soulfulness to occupy. That type of loneliness and aloneness that someone can feel, um, it's interesting because, I mean, Jill's just she having trouble with the words, sister? Yes, I am. Um, Jill is noticing that in some of those lifetimes where she was literally the only one in a bodysuit, sometimes on the entire planet. I was just, she just said, I didn't stay there though, did I? I just popped in, right? She didn't, there was that bigger part of her that she prepared and packed well for. It never felt alone. There was literally no other life forms like her, and yet she did not feel alone. That's some good packing right there, right? So isn't it, it's so weird to juxtapose this to your current timeline and how many people there are on the planet, and yet there's still across, just general human population, there are such serious experiences of loneliness. And unfortunately, if they didn't fully prepare, or adequately prepare for their lifetime, if they rushed it or didn't listen to the warning labels about life on Earth and human incarnation, they may have gone, "Oh, there's how many billions of people? I'm not going to feel lonely. I don't need that. I don't." What's soulfulness? A sense of feeling loved by a wider range of me. I don't need that. You want me to sign something to say I was warned about that? Okay, fine, I'll sign it. I can tell you I don't need that. And I'm gonna be in an urban environment in these apartment buildings. I'm gonna have, thousands of people within a shout. I'm not gonna be lonely. Oh, oh, big hugs. Big hugs to all of those that are, of course, not aware of the previous choices pre-incarnation, but fully aware of this sense of isolation and loneliness that any human can feel. And again, it's okay. Bring your light to that. Give yourself that permission to be real about where you wish you felt more connection, more camaraderie, um, more amazing conversations, and things like that. Bring your light to that by letting yourself be real about it without feeling like you got smashed by a wave. When we want to describe this in more detail, because this is that point that we just made is very important. We want to offer more description about what it means to let yourself fully feel, and be amidst any sort of unpleasantness in that could possibly happen in your life, when it's you bringing all your light to it, versus starving it of light and just feeling like you're doing something wrong if you're feeling that way. Okay. So this this is what it's calm, it's thoughtful. Your thoughts are freely going to places that maybe they normally wouldn't. It feels very real and even serious. There can be a heaviness to the thoughts, but emotionally there's not a freaking out. It's like the fullness of your system is like, yeah, oh, it's like a neutral, there's a neutrality. And some other teachers would say there's a 0 point frequency to it. There's a neutrality to the heaviness and the unpleasantness of the experience, and the maybe even pain and um, confusion, any form of it. There's just this neutrality of, oh, this is not fun. I would do not wish this upon myself. I do not wish this upon anyone. I don't like this. I wonder when it will end. I wonder how it will end. I wonder when this unpleasantness, is there anything else I could be doing? Um, there is just this calm there within self of, here we are. There's a bigger part of you that knows it's okay to have these thoughts, to be real with yourself about how you are experiencing it. And that is the evidence of the soulfulness. That is the evidence of the love, even though it may not feel as, comfy and reassuring and like, your favorite loved one, just it's going to be okay. There's no band-aids offered. It's just really serious. Okay. So this energetic structure, this equipment, for any of you that have had any experiences of that, where you were surprisingly calm about something serious, where you were, while allowing yourself to be very real about all the thoughts and all the considerations amidst that event or that situation, that is huge. Now we recognize that some of you overachievers, selfless, You want to make it even better. You want to make it where you could be going through something like that. Jill is definitely in this camp, so she's giggling, literally. She just giggled. Like, wouldn't there be a way to possibly do something like that, but still be able to smile at yourself, still be able to laugh, still, not look like you're, you know, not look like you're as falling apart as parts of you are. Um, feel more put together, I don't know, feel more grace filled. I don't know. We are very confident that some of you will try to make this even prettier, energetically, and more pleasant, making unpleasantness as minimally unpleasant as possible. That sounds like some of you for sure. And go for it, because what you have demonstrated to you is that you created an experience that was filled with self-love, that did not spiral downward. It didn't compress your light. But so that alone is huge. But some of you are like, but I want to do it even better. That sounds exactly like you. It really does. We also want to acknowledge that some of you had the types of experiences that we are describing before 2024. And you lived it amidst your light before 2024. And this isn't only about this year. We just noticed that there was more of you demonstrating this year. That's what's notable to us. To those of you that have we're already feeling with sufficient and interstellar with that equipment, we celebrate you. It's very possible that for some of you that have already been doing that you made it easier for those that experienced whatever they experienced so far in 2024. 2024 is not the hardest year for, I mean, we don't, it, again, this isn't about the wave. This is about the water molecules. It isn't about how many have had a hard year, who hasn't, or I haven't, or you have, or whatever. We really discourage that conversation, okay? Because it doesn't mean anything. And again, it takes you out of your individuality and what you made it. What did you make that experience? You're here today. That's a sign of something, right? Um, you were so smooth in your energy field amidst some challenges that were very serious. And that is so cool to us. That is so cool. So again, to us, one of the reasons that's that possible, you have all of this energetic structure that you put there to help you know you're okay, to help you know you are loved, to help you know you are more than that detached retina that needed emergency surgery. You are more than any pain, any suffering, any unsettled or upset calendar or plan or whatever. You're the experiencer of that. And you are the experiencer of that with mastery, with this endless soulfulness that can be anything you need it to be for you, with anything and everything that you could possibly experience. So that sounds like confidence to us, right? So cool. The other thing about that, as we're describing this equipment that you put in place, there is this void of doubt. When we observe you guys in these very serious moments, and you'll have the opportunity, by the way, once you're concluded with this you will have the opportunity for a life review, and you will probably, some of you may go to that tape. We call them tapes still, isn't that silly? They were never tapes. It was a human word that popped in. Um, okay, that was funny. Um, when you go to those records, when you go to those files, some of you are very curious about those experiences. It's because there's a part of your humanness that was like, how did I get through that alone? How did I get through that? I want to almost relive it in a way just to see what I couldn't see from what I was going through, whatever that was. And sometimes in those review rooms, the record rooms, you'll invite there are other layers of you, but it's a support system. And for some of us, our favorite thing to point out is that you were driving you in those moments. You got you through that. There was no, you know, there was no angel that swooped in and picked you up and dragged you across there flew you across the finish line to it being the end of it. You were fully operational in leading yourself through your thoughts, your actions, your considerations, and your choices. You did that. Why do we always want to point back the credit to you? The reasons are many. To rewrite storylines, to validate how capable humanity is, to exemplify how it is that the human species has survived what it survived. I mean, to us, the answers are many to why. It's so common to feel utterly helpless and even dysfunctional at times as a human that we're like, well, you got yourself through that. There was no rescue mission. And if there was, it was you. So you still so you still get credit for it, right? There's always the opportunity. There's always this option for an amazing operator in those moments. With every single personal or collective crisis that can happen, there is always for everyone this sort of, oh yeah, I want to say this that's all the great words. Perfect. This is so good. Mm. For some humans that maybe didn't pack that well for this lifetime, they shortcut the preparation or they did the full preparation, but they just went through some serious stuff in their lifetime and they forgot everything, all the energy that they had prepared themselves for those serious moments. There's a good amount of humans that it is at a moment of personal crisis that they start to go, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I've got this. Or even, I can't do this. It's almost like what they're saying is, I can't do this with the version of my human I've known until now. Is there anything else here for me? That observation that they go through, those humans in that moment of, again, we're going to repeat it. The human I am up to now cannot do this. Is there anything else available to me? And it's almost like what they're saying to themselves at their widest range that they don't even know is there is there anything else available to me right now? And by that openness, by the acknowledgement that is natural, it's instinctual, there is then this openness of, it's almost like looking around a shop, like any other tools we got here? Because I need something and quick. And sometimes they realize And there's like another, and this isn't even like a choosing either. It is like an instinctual sort of like, oh, it's like they're filled up with themselves in a new way, where they're, and all of a sudden they're just like, okay, I got it, right? And they just, it's like action, choices, new thoughts, fresh perspective, ideas, better ideas than they had 2 nanoseconds before. It is miraculous to watch. So every single human in those moments has the same opportunities. Every single human in the moment of crisis is offered a bigger version of themselves. They're actually offered it at any moment in time. It's always available to them, but they're not operating as if it is. So for some humans in that moment, there's enough of a need where they start to allow for a bigger version of themselves. And we love that. Does it permanently change them? Sometimes, sometimes not. Do they sometimes credit it to, it was, a storyline of faith and Jesus came in, or the angels came, or my grandpa, rest in peace, he was there and he gave me answers. You know what I mean? The human imagination can come up with a whole bunch of storylines, and that's fine. We're just excited they got through it, right? Who they give credit to and how they tell the story, it's up to them. They're the author of that. How they interpreted it, how they let them show up, how they let themselves show up for them regularly in humanity shows up as well. Clearly that wasn't me because I'm not angelic. So there was angels that came in, or whatever. That's fine. That's totally fine. So again, in the life review, sometimes they're very surprised to go, yeah, it's actually, thank you, Mary Magdalene. So can I tell the story? I'm like, yes. I love to be there. It's so beautiful when the human well, they're not human anymore, but in the life review, when they've dropped their human bodysuit and they're in the life review in the afterlife, or if they have other opportunity for self-reflection, and they're watching, if you will, they're witnessing them in that moment, and they're realizing it wasn't an outside force, it was actually them. And there's this beautiful moment that so many of them go through going, it was me. Like, no way. Like, I didn't lift that car off you know, I lifted a car and nobody helped me. Like, how did I even know I could? What? Like, I gotta watch that again. Let me see. Because I know there were angels there. I know my grandpa helped me. I know, there's just, and sometimes the grandpa shows up like, let's see, was I there? Let's see, honey. You know what I mean? There's just this beautiful awareness of them and how fantastically, miraculously, gloriously capable they actually are and always were, but they didn't feel that way, or it maybe didn't look that way most of the time or any of the time, right? It's so cool. It's so cool. Yeah, it's a beautiful moment. Yeah, thank you, Mary. I'm gonna let her say this. I was part of this whole conversation was partly my request. This takeaway, this offering, because I don't think it's fair, or I don't like it as well, that awareness of, oh my gosh, I got myself through that I don't want that to only be in the afterlife. I want that to be in the lifetime. That was if you will, curious experiment I had, is could we help the humans that are open to this type of awareness and insight? Could we help them see this part because it's such a highlight for them in the afterlife? Could we pull that highlight forward into the life when, I mean, let's be honest, you need it more. You could benefit more from it. It could be more useful for you while you're still operating the humanness. Could we do that? Wouldn't that be amazing? Yes, thank you. My pleasure. Ah. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. So thank you. I just don't want to discount that because that was so beautiful. I know I don't want to rush it. Let's take a breath and bless that and just let you feel fully clean and fully cleansed about anything that you've ever had to experience that was very serious, that felt not as grace filled as you wanted to, or not as maybe not as bright. I can definitely vote in as my Jill here. I'm just adding my part. I would definitely like to have felt more of the brightness. I love what they're sharing here, that actually it was super bright. It's just at the moment was so serious. It maybe didn't feel bright. Um, but I would like it to feel more bright. How about that? And maybe you guys too. So anyway, that's fine. But we did get through it. I don't want to miss that milestone, that importance, and we did it great. Okay, very good. All right, so yeah, thank you, Metatron's like me, please. So for 2024, the way that I look at it is it's almost like, yes, you had the infinity, perspective that was offered to you via your human perspective in the midst of the energy patterns that were offered in this 8 year of 2024. But it wasn't about what you were seeing through the lenses or what was being shown to you or observable. It wasn't, it's not that it wasn't about that, but to me, my offering is that it was more about what are you standing on? What are you standing in? What is stable within you, no matter what you see, no matter what you observe, no matter what you experience? Because that structure matters more than the external observation or whatever you're seeing, right? So if you want a visual, it's almost like a really confident, curious hiker that has the best set of binoculars, and they're perfect and compact, and they're not bulky, they don't add too much weight. They're just the best hiker binoculars you could ever have to see almost everything you want to see. But if you're standing on an unstable, part of the trail, um, cliff nearby, whatever, big gorge to fall into, I don't know. But if you're not feeling stable, you're barely going to see you may not see anything because you can't even, you're like, oh my God, I'm sliding, I'm slipping. Ah, you know what I mean? So this opportunity for you to be like, no, my feet are planted. I am fully in my humanness. I am nothing but me, which means I am all of me. Now let me see what that thing is, right? And that's the way it looked. That's literally the way it looked when we observe. Again, taking this from a bigger perspective, not just about 2024 for a lot of you, but just in general, the way that how confidently and how masterfully you are operating the light that you are, the soulfulness you are, watching out for yourself, watching out for others, self-love, love for others, amazing grace. Oh, that's cute, Metatron. He said I didn't mean to. Amazing compassion. Just there's humility in all the right ways. Those that are still trying to predict the future, I really have so much empathy for them because that is, you guys are full of surprises. So the ability to predict yourself even can be can be quite a task. Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, so when we look to 2025 now, which is technically a 9 year, um, maybe that is, Jill, the opportunity for there to be more, just a better lit experience, feeling more bright and more light, because 9 brings in even more mastery. There is even, it's not that it brings it in more, Jill, that isn't what I meant. Hang on. it is more supportive of the master you are in the year 2025. So it's very possible that some of you will feel even more confident, even less doubt about you in certain situations and your ability to get through things. More confidence maybe in supporting others that do have doubt, that do lack confidence in themselves and their ability to get themselves drive their own car through different experiences that they would not have scripted, would not have asked for, but nevertheless are in. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Okay, what else do we want to say about 2025? I mean, we're always hopeful by nature. Um, we will never underestimate the resilience and the durability of the human form. It is why so many of you chose to be human. Um, the ability to be a loving, caring, thoughtful, wise human is just so satisfying. Even when there are, well, even amidst the unpleasantness, right? Um, For those of you that are feeling in a painful way the loneliness, just I hope you can feel our eternal love for you. And we hope that that little story that we talked about, with Jill being literally the only one on the planet sometimes, and some of you may identify with that too. You guys, planets are prepared for life forms to then experience it. That doesn't happen on its own. There is like, yeah, there's there's a lot that goes into it. We can probably talk about that more, but it would, we don't know how useful it would be, but it's kind of interesting. We don't like to specialize in that because it attracts a different crowd. Um, anyway, um, I would much rather talk about people being their light amidst, their own challenges in life and being there for, to be supportive of other people and their light versus, waxing, philosophical and completely rhetorical about, what goes into preparing a planet for life forms. It's just silly conversation to have in the human construct, to be truthful. Um, but we're not discounting anyone's curiosity. Okay, thank you. I felt like that felt rude. Okay. Like they shouldn't be wanting that, but there's other more important things, we assure you. You are more important than that. Okay. So this grace that you bring into 2025, this almost like forgiveness of, okay, it wasn't perfect. Okay, it wasn't, a fully lit, unpleasant experience, but we'll try again next time. Maybe next time I'll feel more functional in all the human ways that I like to do. Maybe I would feel like I even wanted to go for a walk or that I could walk, you know, and it's, anyway, whatever it is. Yeah, that's good. So I just want to invite you in this moment to give yourself so much love and so much whatever you are longing for about what this year has meant for you. And give yourself a smile that you are amazing and you did far better than you probably think you did. You are amazing to us. Your mastery is shown, even if you never felt it. We don't want you to wait for the life review. So hopefully you got little glimmers of, what, I did do okay. I probably did do better than I otherwise would have, or whatever. This opportunity to feel as confident as you deserve to, we feel it serves you. We feel it benefits you, not to feed your ego, but again, to raise your confidence, to help you smooth out doubts that may arise, to help you feel more present in those moments like we were describing. It's pretty cool when you're experiencing something you've never experienced before, that there's a part of you going, wow, this is rough. Like this sounds not good. And there's a part of you going, I think we got this, right? Some of you are more prone to that, just how how you wired yourself. Some of you are never like that, but all of a sudden you have been feeling more moments like, kind of not freaking out about this, and that's cool. It's weird. It's cool, right? Humans tend to be their best. They tend to be more in the glory, miraculous category when they are acting or thinking or choosing in a way that demonstrates that they are more than the human they've ever been. They are the more than the human than they were a nanosecond ago. Okay? And it can be amazing. Yeah. That's so good. Okay. All right. How are we at on time? Oh my gosh, it literally is straight up on the hour. Oh, we started late though. That's hilarious. Okay, let me just see if there's anything else that we. Oh yeah, thank you. I did skip over. Okay, so we did the love invitation to the love hug or whatever you need to acknowledge you and the amazingness you are for 2024. And I also just want to invite you to a blessing and it's almost like a pre-wash, a pre-cleansing for your 2025. Just helping you know you are always loved. Your light is the blessing. Your soulfulness is the blessing in this reality. And that is filled with everything we love about what I call God and what you may call whatever you may not even call it. You just know it. That's something you know that makes everything better than what it otherwise would have been. We are powerful, masterful, loving, light based creator energy in our humanness. It is exciting that more of us as humans feel this, know this, not in a brain way, but in a you utilize it every day kind of way. It's there and you know it's there for you kind of way. It's not book smart, it's like street smart kind of knowledge. It's been there for you when you need it. And I love that we're not alone. I love that sometimes you guys are the ones that people call. Think of how many of you are the ones that people that are going through something and they're like, I just like, can I like I gotta call so and so. Like I gotta text him. I gotta text her. I'm freaking out here, whatever. I gotta book a session. I gotta book a massage appointment. There are so many of us here in this community that are the ones that people reach out to. That says so much about you and how you planned for this lifetime, but more importantly, how you allow yourself to be. They didn't call someone else, you guys. They didn't even think of someone else. They thought of you. That doesn't have to be codependence. It is love. It is acknowledgement of the reliability of whether it's positivity or true healing or advice and wisdom, clear perspective, compassion. I mean, all of the godliness that you could even imagine are in that nature of you, which is why you're someone somebody thinks of. That is so cool. You probably are a little bit like me, where there's a part of you going, oh, and I wish they know that if I'm ever not available, that they actually have resources within themselves too. Resourcing, regenerating the soulfulness they are. If they literally all they would probably need to do is in that moment of instead of like texting you or calling you or booking you for something, that looking at your calendar, that they close their eyes and just go, okay, there's something to be concerned about here. This feels serious. I'm gonna take my hands and put them in front of myself like I'm receiving. I'm gonna close my eyes and take some deep breaths. Now I'm gonna put a smile on my face. Okay, okay. I'm gonna say to myself, I've got this. Got this. I don't know how, but I've got this. I'm going to put my hands on my chest, on my heart. I'm going to feel my body with my hands, clinging almost maybe to my shoulders. Okay, now what do I want to be in this serious thing? What do we got? My prediction is that if they were to do that, you wouldn't be on their mind anymore. And I would say that's a good thing because we won't always be here, you guys. And that, that's okay too, right? So I love it when people know, like if you feel alone, that doesn't mean what maybe you think it means. You are good. You are better than you realize you are, and you've gotten yourself through things before. And maybe yes, with the help of another. But if that isn't possible, you've got this. It's great to know that you've got this. Okay, in this life, in the afterlife, all of it. Are there reasons to be concerned? Is there serious stuff that happens here? Of course, always, all the way back, all the way forward. It is a function and a feature set of this reality. It just is. Vulnerability is a feature set of this reality. I mean, we all die. I mean, hello, that's pretty serious, especially to the living structure of ourself. That's like, wait, what? Don't think about that, right? The bigger part is like, I'm good. We got you. We're way beyond space and time. We're good. Yeah, and that's serious. So yeah, very cool. Yeah. Oh. Okay, I wanted to say it earlier, but I'll just say it now. And I was having coffee with a friend the other day, and I was kind of, I think she brought it up. I can't remember if Chris did or not. But anyway, I do think it's very ironic that there's all of this, uh, there's so much talk about, vision and binoculars and communication and 2024 and the 8 and the looking through the infinity. And it was my right eye that was the nonsense feature gold winner in this year so far. And it knock on wood, my last adjustment to that right eye lens that we put in, the cataract lens that was needed because of the cataracts that were brought on by the detached retina and the emergency surgery process. It needed to reattach the retina. That caused cataracts. Like 10 years of cataracts happened within like 6 weeks. So all of a sudden, I've never had real vision problems before, and all of a sudden it's getting cloudier and cloudier and cloudier as it's healing. So, and the surgeon was so fantastic. He's like, it's going to get better, but it's also going to get worse at the same time, like two crossing situations. And you hear it and then you live it. And you're like, oh my God, this is terrible. Thank God it was only, one eye, but it was just I never thought it would be that big of a deal to not see out of one eye, but oh my God. Yeah. So maybe not for you guys, but for me, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. I wasn't freaking out, but parts of me were definitely like, this is bad. This is really bad. This is bad. Um, so weird. Yeah. Anyway, oh my goodness. Okay. And the right eye. So to me, the right has symbolized the physical aspect of my journey, and the left side symbolizes the non-physical aspect of my journey. So the right eye is, I just think the irony slash symbolism is definitely there. And no, I don't want to put a story around it, but I kind of do. I kind of do. I need it because I've been calling it my bionic eye now. I have a bionic eye. And eventually I may have bionic knees and bionic hips and bionic shoulders. Those of you that have had replacements, right? This is my vision replacement in a way in my right eye. So I'm super bionic, and I mean literally because we corrected it for distance. The cataract surgeon, we chose to correct for distance. So my distance vision is like gloriously good. It's so cool, and I have readers that I had already just because of aging, but it's just like +1. So yeah, my distance vision is pretty good. So yeah, I did definitely take these lemons and made them lemonade. Was it fun? No. Would I wish it upon anyone? No. Um, but I'm good. I'm good. And that eye is better than it ever was or ever could have been. So okay. And maybe I'll be able to see more clearly on behalf of all of you. That'd be cool too. Okay. All right. That feels like a wrap, you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. This is definitely one that I want to invite you, if you do want to share it with somebody else, to do so. I hope it was clear. I think it was really clear, and maybe the transcript will help it be even more clear for those that are very literal. I love how clearly they said, because I know from knowing some of you and being alongside some of you, that some of you went through your own version of my eye. Some of you went through something serious in 2023, 2022, 2012. I mean, whatever that was. I love that they opened it up, that for some of you, this isn't even just about this year. For you, it's more meaningful to another time in your life. And I love that they sort of welcomed you to bring in that experience as well. And maybe some of you had something very serious at some point earlier in your journey, and now you've had something more recently that's serious, and you can see the before and the after, and just how stable you are. And you could reflect on, yes, my thoughts before were panic, and now my thoughts were very neutral. They were very uncharged. They weren't like, they weren't spiraling, and they weren't false, right? Because the false positivity that some belief systems, not ours obviously, but some belief systems foster is, no, negative attracts negative. You can't have any negative thoughts. So then you become the thought police, and amidst something very serious, there's a lot of energy put into making sure that every thought is positive and every thought is upward spiraling and all of those things. Meanwhile, there's other very real thoughts available from the part of you that is struggling with something, going, this is terrible. Like this is awful. I hate this. I'm pissed about this. I'm angry about that. I'm sad about that. Just the mixture of thoughts that can also be real amidst what's going on are denied in those other belief systems. And that's why we don't tout them, promote them, um, condone them, right? We all get to choose our own systems, and belief is like the software that you are operating as your firmware. You are not your beliefs, you are the operator of your beliefs. And that's one of the things that I hope I am known for and really, really good at, because I try to be. I try to be very, very discerning about empowered beliefs that help all of us, every single human, whatever they know or don't even know, access to the light they are, immediate access to the godliness that they are, when they need it, when they don't need it, that it's always there. I don't know, and I'm not a student of belief or religion, and that hasn't been my path. It's not even my interest. All I know is that I am unaware, and some of you guys that are very studious and very researched in other religions and other belief systems, some of you like, no, there is no other belief system. There's no other belief system that gives everyone immediate access to the light they are. That's important to me. Given this reality, and like how we started out with the seriousness of a human incarnation, I want for sure to make sure that everyone has access to the light they are. I would prefer that they know it, because I feel like that's bonus and it makes it all the better. But I'm frustrated that other belief systems don't give credit to the individual. They make it, I could do a whole bunch of theological critique of other belief systems and why I don't like them, why I feel like they make it harder for humans to be the light and the godliness that we all are and have access to, even though it doesn't look that way. And we don't feel that way sometimes in this reality. That does not deny it as truth. It just feels like a denial in terms of experiences. And that's allowed. That's allowed. Um, Anyway, I also want to highlight for some of you that are newer here that I've met more recently. I highly recommend the Outwitting Wetiko series. It's Outwitting, just like normal spelling. Wetiko is a weird word. Wetiko. That is a free series that we did. And it is timeless. So many of the community here that has felt so stable in the light that they are through, again, also through some serious stuff in their lives, they continuously mention, you know, that Outwitting Wetiko series show. That was just, we did some great work there. That was so good. So it was such amazing preparation for this reality, the light we are, what gets in the way, what feels like it gets in the way of the light we are, what can, it's completely useful approach to how to understand, appreciate, respect, and be better prepared for all of the times when humans don't act like the light we are. They don't act godly. We don't feel godly. They don't feel godly, whatever. It just gives you a whole neutral kind of like, oh, I'm going to sneeze, just one sec. It's a complete update that does a better job than belief systems and faith-based systems at explaining what that is and what it means and what it needs to mean. And yeah, all of it is so much better. And if I do swear in it though, um, cursing is a function. There was a medical doctor that I think he may have been an anthropologist. No, he was a medical doctor, I believe. Anyway, he described that cursing, profanity, uses a part of the human brain that allows for being assertive, proactive, and even aggressive. Okay. So profanity is not a defensive part of our humanness. It's a, okay, I'm ready. Like, let's go. Bring it. I got this. You know what I mean? I can handle it. It's very, it doesn't have to be antagonistic, but it can be very like, oh, I can handle anything that comes up. So I did use quite a few big profanity, like big F-bombs throughout that series, and it might be jarring to some. So maybe there's a little warning label on that. I still think it's worth it. Yes, I know it's worth it. And if that bothers you, there is another text that is similar enough to maybe get the benefits of it, and that's called Outwitting the Devil. And that was a book written by Napoleon Hill, and gosh, it was probably early or late 1950s, 1950. Napoleon Hill, you may know him from the Think and Grow Rich, which I'm personally not a fan of. And it's fine if you are. If it's helped you, that's great. I think it can be misleading. Anyway, so Outwitting the Devil is, you can get an audiobook, you can get it in book form. That one, there's no swear words that I can think of. But it's good. And some of you are like, why did she do her own series if there's already a book? It's because, I'm gonna do a little story time here. I know we're going over. When I, oh, sorry, hang on just a second. A little sneeze earlier got me. When I was realizing and really feeling led to do some sort of a series allowing what I call Wetiko, which is experience something that feels like lack of light. And it's not lack of light. It's not darkness, it's just lack of light in the experience. The light is always there, but it's dim so much that you can't even recognize it, like a dark room in your house. But if you go in a dark room in your house at night, there's no lights on. There's not a force of darkness. There's no dark energy like, making it dark. It's simply lack of light. And I wish we would look at all of the dark stuff in this reality, not as a force of darkness. And that's partly what the Outwitting Wetiko series does. Anyway, I was realizing that, wow, you've got some really, really good insights and a lot of uploaded wisdom here about this. And that would be a good series. But who in the hell is going to want to listen to you basically channel what they think of as Satan? I was like, oh, that's never going to work. Like, who would want that? And then I was like, well, I know why they should want it, because they're going to be better prepared and it's not Satan. And that's a religious term used to, anyway, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole or down that tangent. But anyway, as I was thinking about it, somebody recommended to me Outwitting the Devil, that it was one of his favorite books. And I was like, well, that sounds interesting. And a very positive title, right? And I listened to the audiobook, and it was really good. Napoleon did a fabulous job, Napoleon and his team, because I do feel like it was channeled. They kind of admit that it was channeled. Anyway, I'm almost done with the audiobook, and I was bummed and I was mad, and I felt the energy of Napoleon Hill come in and just go, why are you mad?" And I was like, "'Cause you did what I thought I was gonna do, or maybe even that I thought I was supposed to do." And he goes, "Huh." And he goes, "Well, most people don't even know about this book, Jill." And I was like, "Yeah, that's true. And you think it's good." I'm like, "It's great. Like you did a great job. And I feel like you did what I want to do, and I get less interested in doing things that somebody else has already done. So that's why I'm bummed and mad at the situation, not mad at you." And he said something to the effect, obviously not said, but he communicated um, something to the effect of, "Well, I hope you still do it because no one can tell it how you will. Just like you wouldn't have been able to tell it like I did. You'll do it in your unique," and remember we talked about individuality earlier. "You will do it individually in your unique way." And this is such an important topic. Don't you think there's more than enough space in the world for what I did and what you'll do? And I was like, "Yeah, true." And did. So I did it. Yeah, and I'm so glad I did. And some of you, I know Alicia, I think you're Alicia if you're on the call. She did both of them, and sometimes she goes back and does both of them again because there's a distinction between them, and yet there's some beautiful similarity, and there's something meaningful in each of them. So anyway, the Outwitting Wetiko series is totally free. Is it on YouTube? Yes. Is it me like this on a video? No. Um, because I only recorded audio when I shared it live. So it's on YouTube. It's really anywhere you would access like a podcast, Spotify, Apple podcasts. Yeah, it's all out there and it's all free. It's free. I think it's 8 parts. Anyway, there's conversation in it because I think, yeah, we had callers during some of those. Great questions asked. I remember, Paul, you asked some great questions that allow that to be even better. Thank you, brother. So yeah, okay. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's such an honor to be alongside you in this reality. Big hugs to anything that has been very serious for you at any point in your life. I hope your life review at some point in long, hopefully far, far in the distant future, but beyond time a little bit, is satisfying and you feel nothing but love and joy for yourself and the human that you are right now. And if we can pull that in a little bit, like Mary Magdalene was saying, and helping you feel more of that love for yourself and excitement about who and what you are and what you're capable of now, I see the benefit in that too. I'm honored to be a part of that, part of what we did today. So thank you. Love you guys so much. Love you. Bye bye for now. I'll try to get this posted. I am in McCall, but I should be able to at least get the audio up. And hopefully the video doesn't take forever to upload. Sometimes that happens. Okay. I love you guys so much. Bye bye. Love you. Thank you.